Just hoping you bet it.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
All right. Yep, Dom told me about that, and I said, well, it's been crazy, Dom, while everything's going on, and, who knows what's going to happen today. Lola will be happy if Michigan goes all the way and wins a championship, but you look at all the teams that were supposed to win and didn't win, How about Ohio? Usually when you talk basketball in the state of Ohio, the king of the hill, the Buckeyes. It's Bobcats. They go up against Creighton. They could win that. Ohio is a 13th seed. Creighton is a 5 seed. Lola's Michigan Wolverines will be playing tonight. Lola, you going to watch that on CBS?
Yes, that I will watch.
Yeah. LSU, they're okay, but they shouldn't lose to Michigan. 7:45, I don't know if I'll watch Florida State and Colorado. I will watch Alabama and Maryland. That could be an upset. Alabama number 2 seed, Maryland a number 10 seed. Will I watch USC and Kansas? No, I'll go to bed. Okay, but it's very interesting. Oklahoma and Gonzaga. Oklahoma, they can shoot the ball. They're number 8 seed. Gonzaga, number 1 seed. Who knows? And Oregon could upset number 2 Iowa. Oregon is number 7. So we could have a few surprises. I lost track at how many March Madness tournaments I've been to. I know I've been to 5 Final Fours. Thank goodness I won't go again because it's a zoo with all the media and all the hoopla and everything. Better watch it on the 55-inch screen. But I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen so many grown-ups cry like I have in the past 4 days, and they work real hard to get there because a lot of them thought they were going to get there last year, and of course everything was, canceled due to COVID. By the way, Oregon and Iowa is getting off to a start, okay? That's the second round of the West region, so yeah, we're going to get down after tonight. Who plays, what's the last game tonight? USC and Kansas. Yeah, I'll miss that one. Kansas the number 3 seed, the Trojans number 6. So who knows? Who knows? But I guess there are no more perfect brackets. Lola's hopefully she can win something if Michigan can go all the way. Me, I don't care. I've already got the stove. Well, I won't buy it, but it's paid for already. So yeah, you win a few bucks, you think you can put it in your pocket, and it's got to go to the kitchen. Lola, the stove's only 11 years old. That's pretty good for a stove, isn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that it would punk out on you that quick.
Well, it gets a lot of use.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah,
well, they just don't make appliances like they used to.
No, oh no.
And, I got a fridge down in the basement that's probably 60 years old, and if I plugged it in tomorrow, it would work.
Yep.
Looks terrible, but, it would work.
Yeah, there's an old GE stove that we keep a lot of junk in because there's room for pots and pans and stuff. It's in the basement next to the backup refrigerator and freezer. It was on the farm in Bentleyville where I lived. Then it moved to, I forgot the name, Orchard Avenue near the hospital. Then it moved to the Beaumart, which was the store I grew up with. Then it moved to West Washington. And now it's in my house. And it works. We always use it on Thanksgiving. It works. It's an old General Electric. Ugliest looking appliance I've ever seen. But like old people, it still works, okay?
Well, this weekend, my niece and nephew they bought a new trailer. So all of their appliances in the trailer are brand new. Mm-hmm. And theirs really were not old. So they gave us a dishwasher and a stove. So all of our appliances match now.
Yeah.
And they came in and installed it yesterday. Kitchen looks so nice.
Yeah, okay, all right. Probably move the stove in the kitchen downstairs and we'll have twins, whatever. I always grew up on a gas stove, but the Mrs. D wanted a electric, whatever. Isn't gas better to cook with?
I think so. I can't cook on an electric, and that was the problem the kids had with the new trailer. They don't have a gas hookup now.
Okay.
So they had to go with the electric stove. That's why they gave us their stove. But everything Allison has tried to cook in the last month, half of it she's burned, because gas, you turn the heat off and it's off. You turn it off on an electric burner and it's got to cool down.
Yeah.
So she's burning all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. West Virginia fans, I feel for you. Too much Buddy Boeheim. Too much. I was looking forward to, it was a good game. Once again, free throws hurt, turnovers late hurt. They didn't get off to a good start, and you got to give Coach Boeheim credit with his defense. It's a tough defense to play against. Whatever he throws at you, they work real hard. This isn't a team made up of great stars, although they got one in Buddy Boeheim. At first I said, oh yeah, I wonder how he got his scholarship, Daddy. But you know what? The kid is really good. He could probably start on any team, anywhere in Division I. Great. What did he have? 22 of his 25 points? Whatever. After halftime, 11th seed Syracuse beat 3rd seed West Virginia. Yeah. Those kids are still crying. I don't blame them. Especially when you get this far, And Boeheim, he's used to this stuff. There's been other years where, he shouldn't have been invited or been selected in March Madness, but I think a lot of people are smart in realizing a lot of times when he gets in there, he goes a long way. All right? This was his 982nd win. Coach Huggins is still at number 900. It was nice to see both of them give each other a hug and talk to each other. Well, it goes back to the Big East, when they probably didn't hate each other, when they did hate each other, when the Big East was the best conference in all of basketball. But Huggins got some people coming back. He'll retool a little bit, and West Virginia will be there. So, but the Orange, who knows? They could go on and win it all, Give it to Buddy Boeheim, He was told, shoot 200 times. Even if you miss, keep shooting, keep shooting. He got a pep talk from a guy that I was familiar with when the Syracuse won the 2003 or 4 national championship, Jerry McNamara. And also his wingman was Carmelo Anthony, and is now one of Jim Boeheim's assistants. So like him or hate him, Syracuse, when it comes to basketball, never count them out. Don't pay any attention to them during the regular season. They get into postseason playing March Madness, it's like, watch out. And Boeheim has been there so long that I'm trying to find out how many of these Sweet 16s he's been to. But there you go. So it should be a cool thing. Buddy Boeheim, unbelievable. So confident. I haven't seen that in a while. And of course, I was rooting for Loyola Chicago. I can't wait to talk to the legend. We're going to do that at 1:05, coming up at 12:35. One of the best players to ever wear a Mountaineer uniform, Deshaun Butler, will be joining us. And then the legend. I'll ask him about his Illinois team. Bill, they're going to go all the way and win it. Okay, all right. I'm going to tease them, folks. All right, but a lot of basketball coming up this afternoon and this evening. March Madness continues. And, of course, the madness continued at West Banco. They played 3 games at home. Wichita wins 2 of the 3. All right, we'll talk about that and introduce you to a couple of our fans that are in studio. All right? They attended the Wheeling University basketball games. They don't say very much, but they're here because they want to be part of the variety show on AM 1600.
This guy knows so much about sports. They based the Sports Almanac from Back to the Future off of his dream journal. He's Bill DeFabio, weekdays noon to 2 on the Valley's only network dedicated to live and local talk radio, The Watchdog.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them, just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Mingo Junction. The Watchdog is protecting your yard. Join Howard Monroe, Hoppy Kercheval, Bill DeFabio, and Big Rick for the best live and local talk in the Upper Ohio Valley and beyond. Mingo Junction trusts the Watchdog.
Does your dog need groomed or walked? Are you looking for a pet sitter or dog boarding options? If so, call Dirty Paws, Wheeling's newest pet care service, providing the Ohio Valley with everyone's pet care needs. Check us out on Facebook at Dirty Paws WHG or call 304-639-7754.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
Sorry, Uncle Albert. We're so sorry if we caused you any pain. We're so sorry, Uncle Albert. But there's no one left at home, and I believe I'm gonna rain.
I wonder how the Beatles knew that coming back from the break, I was going to talk about them. What are you saying to Fabio? Well, I'm saying this. I love MeTV. Hogan's Heroes, Gunsmoke, Wanted Dead or Alive. You know, it's all good stuff, old stuff. Well, they started last night with the best of Ed Sullivan from 9:30 to 10 o'clock following Columbo. And it's produced by a local guy. I worked with him at Channel 4, Tim Kiley. He put together like this oldies channel or whatever, and one of their clients is MeTV, and it's old shows, Carol Burnett and all that, okay? I wasn't a big Carol Burnett fan, but whatever. And the best of Ed Sullivan, of course, featured the King, Elvis Presley, in his first appearance. You know, twice Ed called him boy. I think Elvis was a little bit impressed, but whatever. He did Don't Be Cruel, and then he had the Beatles on, their first appearance back in 1964. And it was crazy seeing all the girls go absolutely nuts like they were on drugs or they just won the lottery or whatever. But he introduced them, and I think the Beatles were nervous when they went over to shake hands with him, and they sang, I Want to Hold Your Hand. I hope MeTV has this on every Sunday at 9:30 because I think it's great. I don't have to look in my library and get the best of Ed Sullivan or the British Invasion on Ed Sullivan, okay? Richard Pryor was there, and his jokes were pretty clean. So was a young, very young, George Carlin, okay? He wasn't lean or mean. He was very, soft with his jokes, but, he really didn't have the dirtiness back then. Even when I watched Don Rickles on Ed Sullivan, he was very cool. Didn't pick on any religions or anything, all right? But that's going to be cool. I hope they do it every Sunday. They usually show this show what is a old basketball from 1943 worth or whatever, or the best and the biggest Star Wars collection. Yeah, I'd rather watch the best of Ed Sullivan. Did you watch Ed Sullivan, Lola?
Yeah, I think we were forced to.
And the little mouse was on. Topo Gigio, whatever his name is. Hey, Eddie, give me a kiss. Yeah, I like that stuff. It was crazy. And in a way, I was forced to watch Ed Sullivan. Like I was forced to watch Lawrence Welk, because after Lawrence Welk, we had Studio Wrestling with Bill Cardell, Chili Billy, okay? Lola, did you notice my guest here?
Well, I'd say the back of something.
No. What's your dog's name?
Gretchy,
Gretchy's here. And your little friend with the sunglasses?
Caleb.
Yep, they're here.
Caleb.
They got tired. They were in a storage room at Wheeling University. And I was there last week, and I said, what happened to my cutouts? Oh, they're in a box somewhere over there. They were behind the wrestling mat.
Well, thank you for digging them out.
Yeah, they're mine, by the way. Unless you want the
No.
one you paid for. You want the kid? I want the dog. If you buy me a breakfast someday, I'll give you both of them.
All right, I'll buy you a breakfast.
Yeah, don't go to McDonald's where you get 2 for 1 sausage McMuffins.
Why, that's what you do.
You turkey. Or you can keep them here as cutouts.
No. Caleb's going to his house and Gretchy's going to her house.
All right. Okay. That dog won't stop staring at me. Are you talking to
She
me?
wants a treat.
You talk.
That's why she's staring at you. She wants a treat.
Well, usually when the other host who's no longer here used to have crackers and everything, but I can't give him anything. What is this? Oh, Total Home.
What are you mumbling about?
I'm trying to find some food. I might have
She
crackers.
can wait. She's getting fat.
I don't know, those eyes looking at me. And I'm trying to tell this kid, take your thumb out of your mouth.
He's eating Cheerios.
Where are the Cheerios? I don't see Cheerios.
There's something on that tray.
All right. By the way, you don't owe me anything. Just take them. You don't want to keep them in the studio?
No?
Not even for a couple days? No. Okay. All right. Take them.
Well, I can't take them home today
All right.
because I'm going to the grocery store.
Which one did I buy? The dog?
One or the other.
Yeah, I think the dog, yeah. That was a good deal.
Yeah, it
Hopefully
was.
next year they'll have fans in the stands and not cutouts,
I hope so.
you know. Speaking of Wheeling University, there's a football game Thursday night at 7 o'clock. So I'll hang around, and then go do the PA, whatever. 1-1, Wheeling Cardinals. West Liberty got off to that bad start, losing, 70-7 or something? Ooh. Yeah, you want to see all the local teams do well. Even Bethany. I don't forget Bethany, Although there might be Division III, My brother-in-law went there. The one I don't really like, but that's another commentary. Today is Stanley Cup Day. Yeah, I remember that date. Way back in '93. All I did was ask for the cup, brought it to Washington, PA, and made a couple pit stops in Mount Lebanon. People already had $20 bills ready for me to take their picture with Polaroid cameras. Of course, they don't have Polaroid cameras anymore, do they, Lola?
Yes, as a matter of fact, they do.
They do?
Yes,
Okay.
they do.
But over 20,000 raised, went to 7 or 8, I forget how many I had on the list. The best one was, and I made sure they got more money than anybody else, was the women's shelter at the city mission, and taking care of them for decades. But on this date, all right, the Stanley Cup was born. The original trophy cost $48.67. On this date in 1894, the winner of the Stanley Cup, you had to win a series of playoff games, in fact. You got the Stanley Cup. And the Stanley Cup competition remains the oldest in professional sports in North America. Of course, the Red Wings, Lola's team, has won 11. Toronto's won 13, and the Montreal Canadiens, I lost count at 500. I think they got like 26 or something. I don't know. They're like the Lakers and the Celtics. For a while there, all they did was win, 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 and win. But it's the oldest in professional sports. One of the coolest things. You don't get to take it home. Well, you get to take it home for a day. We got to have that guy on, by the way. I spent an hour with him a couple of years ago. The guy that travels with it, Philip or Paul, I don't know. But I got his number, and he said call anytime, so I'll abuse him, maybe during the Stanley Cup playoffs. If it goes to Siberia, he goes with the cup, all right? Sleeps with the cup, takes care of the cup. Why? Because some turkey in 93 or 94, after I had it, took it to a party. It was a jerk from the New York Times and cracked the darn thing. Me, I took very good care of it. Matter of fact, I chased the wife out of the bedroom and slept with the cup. I was afraid. She was afraid I'd drop it. But that was such a great 24 hours. Imagine if I had it for like a week, how much money I could have raised for charity. But the Stanley Cup, is it the most unique trophy in all of sports, Lola?
Yes, I would say so.
Yeah, I would say so too. I know there's a lot of good wrestling around here, but I watched the championship round this past weekend, the finals. I've never seen a team with 4 finalists and all 4 win. I'm talking about the Penn State Nittany Lions. 4 in and 4 in championships. Was it enough to win the team title? No, but they were runner-up, so they'll get a trophy. Iowa Hawkeyes won the team trophy. I had to root for one of the Hawkeyes, Sean Lee. This is from my neighborhood, not Washington, but Allegheny County, about 25 miles from my house. Sean Lee is one of many Iowa Hawkeyes who couldn't make let's call it a statement with Penn State, so they transferred. And that's why, Iowa's been good for a number of years. But think about that. 4 wrestlers in the finals. You hope maybe 2 can win. Lucky 3. All 4 won. 3 of the 4, I think, won in overtime. And you talk about jubilation. You talk about sadness. There's, once again, grown-up athletes crying, There was a couple tough losses there, especially for the Oklahoma State guy who lost to the Penn State guy. And I think a Michigan guy that lost to the Penn State guy in overtime. But they get nice runner-up plaques, I guess. All right. Before the show is over, Lola, I want to talk about some controversy with women's basketball.
Yes, that is shameful.
Yeah, about their weight room. At first I said, get a break, come on. Then they showed the room where the girls supposedly, if they wanted to lift weights, I've seen a better weight room at Days Inn, okay, or Hotel 8 or 6, where you get a piece of candy under your pillow. They should, even, what do you call those bags that they carry? Swag bags or something?
Yep.
The men had 80% more stuff, and they give you a lot of stuff. Shirts, trinkets, whatever. They give you a lot of stuff. Well, the men had like 80% more than the women. Well, this is where I draw the line. The women's basketball championships, and I love UConn. I liked them when they sucked years ago. I like West Virginia. They're still playing. You know, I like to watch Stanford. I like to watch South Carolina because their coach used to be a Pitt product. And when you get to the championship, postseason March Madness, it should be equal right down the middle, and it's not.
No, the women are staying in, I think, dormitories or something like that. They're playing on just any old gym that they could get booked into, while the men get, you know, that beautiful floor that was made just for March Madness.
Yep.
All the Facebooks and everything else are all geared to the men.
Yep.
The men are staying in really nice hotels,
Yep.
you know, with catered food. It's just,
Yep.
it's wrong. It's just wrong.
And leave it to a man to stand up and say, this is unfair. Coach Gino from Connecticut. He was livid when they interviewed him in his house. He can't coach for another week or so because of COVID-19. He was livid. He says it's got to stop. It's very unfair. And this is the guy that's won 10 titles, you know? He's like Coach K, women's basketball. He doesn't have to recruit. He sits in his beautiful leather chair and answers the phone. I'm sorry, we're already loaded with talent. He's already got the number one prospect for 2022. So it's nice to see him stand up and, you know, say what should have been said years and years ago.
Well, I guess the head of the NCAA now is a woman, so they're hoping that there will be some really big changes.
Yep. Okay. When we come back, we're going to talk to a gentleman who's third all-time on the West Virginia all-time scoring list, played in a number of March Madness scenarios, even went to the Final Four. If he didn't get hurt, I think they would have beaten Duke and won a championship, but that didn't happen. We're going to say hello to Deshaun Butler right after this on the Watchdog.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Chris Lawrence. A bill pending in the House of Delegates would give electric producers in the state an opportunity to recoup costs paid for upgraded environmental control equipment faster than normal. House Energy Chairman Bill Anderson is lead sponsor of the bill that would give that opportunity to companies like AEP and First Energy to get those costs faster than they normally would through the rate process.
Normally, they would have to spend it and wait for their next regular rate case that comes up, and that can sometimes be several years from the time they have to make the expenditures of money.
Now, the bill has gained some traction as companies anticipate increased regulation and upgrade requirements by the Biden administration, but not everybody is on board. The West Virginia Energy Users Group, which represents a lot of the state's biggest manufacturing companies, says the bill is unnecessary, will be expensive, and hasn't been thoroughly examined. Floor sessions in the House and Senate gaveling to order this hour in Charleston. Day 41 of the 60-day session happens with some members of the legislature absent amid the diagnosis of a COVID-19 positive. In Raleigh County Delegate Brandon Steele, he tested positive Saturday and has a pneumonia diagnosis as well. A couple of other lawmakers and several staff are self-quarantined. Governor Jim Justice starting up his COVID-19 briefing this hour. See that at WVMetroNews.com. In Roane County, an off-duty deputy and a neighbor are credited with saving a woman's life. The two managed to pull the woman and a man from a burning home near Spencer Saturday. The man died, but the woman is recovering. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. A roving steward with the United Steelworkers Union says drug maker Viatris should not be allowed to close down what was formerly the Mylan plant in Morgantown. J.D. Wilson says this is actually a national security concern because of the drugs going overseas to be made.
Viatris is one of the very few major manufacturers still left here in the United States. Everything else has went offshore.
Wilson there speaking on Metro News affiliate WAJR. The company due to close that plant July 31st. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Chris Lawrence.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. Beware of telephone scammers pretending to be government employees. Real Social Security employees will never threaten you. Callers threatening you with arrest or other legal action and demanding money are not from us. If you receive a call like this, hang up, do not provide them with any form of payment or information. Report the call at oig.ssa.gov.
The Storm Tracker 7 team is here to warn you when winter weather will affect your day.
And as we go through the overnight after our coating of snow, we'll wake up tomorrow morning with a few snow flurries.
We are also here to help you make the most of the season. Is it a good day to build a snowman? Should you take the kids sledding? Check out our app before you head out the door.
We're going to bottom out to temperatures in the upper 20s.
With meteorologists Dr. Dave Walker, Zach Petty, and me, Aaron Myler, we've got weather coverage you can count on. 7 News, working for you.
Hey, I'm going to the kitchen. Can I grab you a Coors Light?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Huh. I never knew there was a zip line in my fridge. Hey, buddy! Yeah! You got 2 Coors Lights up there?
You got it!
Always brewed down to 34 degrees. With a taste as cold as the Rockies, only Coors Light gives you refreshment every time.
Here you go. 2 Coors Lights.
Awesome, man. Wow, these are really cold.
That's the only way I deliver it.
Sure. I mean, you being a mountain climber and all.
Yep.
You probably need a pretty warm coat in there, huh?
Yep.
Hey, Ben!
Yeah!
Ask him if he has any nachos.
You got any nachos in there?
No.
Just icy cold Coors Light?
Yep.
That makes sense. It is the Rockies.
Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. With great beer comes great responsibility.
I'm not buying till I checked on for.
Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there is one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doane Ford. You can be certain that you always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. Being in business for over 50 years has given Doane Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doane Ford. Online at DoaneFord.com.
I'm not buying till I check Doane Ford.
Does your dog need groomed or walked? Are you looking for a pet sitter or dog boarding options? If so, call Dirty Paws, Wheeling's newest pet care service, providing the Ohio Valley with everyone's pet care needs. Check us out on Facebook at Dirty Paws WHG or call 304-639-7754.
Listen to the Bill DeFabio Variety Show with Bill DeFabio and Lola Miller. Weekdays noon to 2 on the Valley's only network dedicated to live and local talk radio, The Watchdog.
Great Tommy Rowe hit from the 60s, Dizzy. I'm sure all of us were dizzy with all the craziness that happened since Thursday with March Madness, and it'll continue today, and it'll continue until we have a champion. So who will that be? Who knows anymore? Well, this guy knows something about basketball, because if you look at the history books, 3rd all-time scoring leader at West Virginia, Deshaun Butler. Mr. Butler, have you been enjoying March Madness?
For the most part, yeah. Probably had some hiccups I didn't enjoy too much, but for the most part, it's been fun basketball to watch.
What'd you think of West Virginia's performance against Syracuse? In my opinion, Boeheim, it took away McBride and Culver, and nobody really stepped in. And of course, at the free throw line, they struggled. They had turnovers, and they just didn't get off to a good start. But I tell you what, I'm a big Buddy Boeheim fan, and he's coming back, so that's bad news for the opposing teams.
Yeah, man. It was a very slow first half, I would say, but I was just impressed with how well both teams played in the second half. It was a really good game, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Buddy Boeheim can really, really shoot. Obviously, I knew that before how well he can shoot, but just watching that game and seeing how well he did and how clutch he was and how poised he was. It was great. It was great basketball nonetheless, man.
Having worked with him, and he's not media friendly, but that's okay. He's a great coach, 980 victories or whatever. A lot of people were upset that, hey, what's Syracuse doing in this thing? They'd had a lousy year. And I had to remind people, it's not about the regular season. Once you get into the big dance, sometimes the best comes out in people. You know what I mean? It's like the Stanley Cup playoffs. You could win the President's Trophy and be eliminated in round number 1 if you don't be careful. But I never bet against Boeheim, and he's proven once again why he's one of the all-time great coaches. I think he has 18 or 16 Sweet 16 appearances. That's unbelievable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, I'm not surprised. They had some losses this year, of course, but they beat some pretty good teams that are in the tournament. So, I mean, you can't knock them. And once again, I wasn't surprised they made it. I mean, they're a really good team. They're hard to beat, especially them being in that zone. And the better team ends up winning. I mean, you can't knock it. It is what it is. So shout out to Coach Boeheim and the Orange. They were the better team yesterday, as much as it pains me to say.
Now, it was a nice Big East situation, which I still wish was back because I thought it was the best conference of all, especially when you go to the Big House, Madison Square Garden. You faced the zone. Were you guys successful at all?
Not all the time, but we definitely found some days we were successful against it. And it's just like any zone, you got to figure out where you can find your advantage at in the zone, and figuring out where you can put 2 guys against 1 somewhere in the zone. And I kind of think we had a hard time doing that in the first half. We did it a little bit better in the second half, but not as consistently. I just think we made a lot more jump shots in the second half than we did in the first. But it's like any zone. Like I said, you just got to find the weakness in the zone and find a place where you can put 2 guys against 1 and make the defender choose.
Yeah. I tell you what, I was telling Lola, my teammate here, I've never seen so many grown men jump for joy and so many grown men, young men, cry, And I've never really seen that, and I've been to a number of those. I've been to a few Final Fours, but not like this. I mean, it's just, it's crazy. It is, and we can finalize it, March Madness. But I'll tell you this, a day before Jay Billis picked Ohio U to win, all right, in that big game, I predicted it here. I wish I had the telephone. Jay, I know you think you invented the game of basketball, but there are some people out there to get lucky,
Very much so, yeah. But I don't think anybody was surprised. I think everybody picked Ohio to win that game. Yeah. So I have a guy from Ohio here right now. He came into work this morning with his Ohio Bobcat shirt on. So.
Yeah. Well, you know what I did? What was unbelievable yesterday? Yesterday. I wore a WVU T-shirt.
That's probably what the problem was then.
So, to make matters even worse, now for Facebook, I got my Pitt hat on. You need a Pitt hat? Yeah.
Actually, I might need something. We might need something to clean some things up around the house with. Yeah, I'll take the Pitt hat if you got it.
Oh, Mr. Butler. Hey, you experienced, you went to the Final Four, your senior year?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What was that like, just going to the Final Four?
A lot of fun. I mean, worked hard all year, and we ended up playing pretty well toward the end of the season, and because of that, we ended up taking the momentum from the conference tournament, the Big East tournament, and into the NCAA tournament, and it just was a great time.
Yeah, well, I blame the loss to Duke to Joe Mazzulla. How's that sound?
That's fine with me. As long as you don't blame me, I'm good.
Well, you got hurt. Why'd you have to get hurt? You're Superman.
Hey, man.
What was it, sprained ankle?
Basically, you can say that.
Oh, okay. Oh, man. Hey, did you get a lot of goodies back then like the kids get today?
Nah, we didn't get any of that stuff.
Yeah. You didn't even get a free T-shirt, did you?
No, we might have got a T-shirt.
Oh,
we might have got a T-shirt. I can't tell you we didn't get a T-shirt.
The Final Four you were in, where was it played?
In Indianapolis.
Oh, okay. Isn't that a great town? Isn't that a great town?
I didn't really like Indianapolis too much. I didn't like Indiana. We lost Indiana every time we played, so I didn't like it too much.
All right, yeah. Yeah, if you're in the Hoosier State, you almost have to be a Hoosier fan, but whatever, so, yeah, it's really crazy. So I'm sure your bracket's all crazy, right? Who do you have winning it all?
I still have a perfect bracket, so.
You have a perfect bracket?
No, of course not. No.
Oh.
I had Illinois doing some damage that they're not going to be able to do right now, but I have Baylor winning a bracket.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know how much of my bracket is left now because after yesterday's games, I kind of just stopped looking. It was a very eventful day yesterday.
Yeah. What team of nobodies, all of a sudden there's somebody that you were impressed with? Well, it'd be Oral Roberts, Ohio, whatever.
Oh, I wouldn't call them a team of nobodies. I was impressed with a lot of the teams yesterday. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like a lot of teams came out, played very well, showed how important preparation is, and taking your opponent serious is. I mean, it was fun to watch Loyola play.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch the Syracuse game. I thought Wisconsin was going to play a little bit better. They didn't. Baylor played great. Arkansas played well. I mean, Rutgers fought. I thought Rutgers had a chance to win.
Yep.
A really good chance to win. Phil Roberts and their two studs were amazing yesterday. And, I mean, Villanova and Oregon State were great, too. I mean, Villanova's been great. I know everybody's probably counting them out because Gillespie's not there, but they played great as well, so.
Yeah, I've watched them a couple of times, maybe once during the regular season, because you don't get to see too much Loyola Chicago on the tube, you know what I mean? I forget what number he wore, but he impressed me. That was, he had 19 points. Cameron Grutwig, I hope I have that name right.
He's a beast, man.
Yeah, man, and I like
the Loyola team is a really good team now. So.
Yeah, and I like the kid from Illinois, the big center, Cockburn, you know?
Yeah, Coburn is tough. He's a hell of a player. Big guy, 7 feet, every bit of 250, 60. Like he's a big dude, man.
Is he a freshman?
I'm not sure about that.
Okay, I know one freshman we won't see, and I don't think he showed up. Cade Cunningham, Oklahoma State.
Oh, he had a good game yesterday, man. It was just a tough. Like once again, Oregon State. They got on them early, and it's only so much you can do when you get down in a game like that. To a team like that is difficult to to beat any team, regardless of who it is.
Yeah, it's really something. And I like the one coach, not a very tall coach, but they picked him up and threw him around like he was a balloon or something. And it's just the kids had so much fun, the winners. It was sad to see a lot of guys crying. I know there was one West Virginia Mountaineer, they had to pick him up off the floor because he just couldn't believe that the season's over. But that's why they call it March Madness.
Indeed, man. I mean, it's part of it. And that passion and that excitement and even the sadness is all part of it. And these kids will learn from these things. And, they'll remember these games regardless if it's a win or a loss for the rest of their lives and how much work they put into to play this COVID season,
Yeah.
So it was tough for everybody, but it was once again a very fun day yesterday watching basketball and just watching all of these teams, man. Everybody should be grateful they get a chance to watch great basketball.
And it was great to see Huggins, who has 900 wins, and of course, I call him Mr. Magoo, which isn't nice, but whatever.
Yeah, that's very rude.
Yeah, I know. What's he going to do, come here and, punch me? I don't think so. I hope he does. I hope he does it on the air. Wouldn't that be great? Jim Boeheim punching me out on my show?
I mean, you can't see it, so.
No, we have Facebook.
Oh, there we go. So you got the recording. Good luck with that.
Yeah, whatever. But, no, I respect the guy, I really do, because he's been around. I remember him as a player. I had hair down to my shoulder, man.
That I don't believe.
I did. I had a lot of hair. I'll have to show you someday.
I believe that you look exactly the same from the time you were 20 to now.
Okay, that's it. From now on, I'm going to say how good you were, but you can't wear the shoes of one Charles Smith, one of the all-time great Pitt players. How do you like that, Mr. Butler?
It hurts my feelings, but at the same time, I know you understand that I explained. So.
Hey, how's recruiting going?
Recruiting's great. I'm learning from the great coach, Chris Richardson. He's teaching me a ton.
Yep. He's a West Virginia guy, right? He went to West Virginia.
Yes, he is, man. One of the great West Virginia guys.
Was he crying today? Was he crying?
No, he wasn't crying. He's not a crier.
Okay, all right. No, he's not. No.
The
team can only get better, and with your help and the assistant coaches, you're going to bring in some good guys, and it'll be competitive again. And you know what? It's great. I think the MEC is a great conference for Division II, And we have one local team that they play Wednesday. So, you know what? It's good to see the locals in there, right?
Yeah, man, it's always good to see the MEC do well. Even if it's a rival, it's always good to see the MEC do really well. So, hopefully they keep representing the conference, and then we can do the same sometime in the future. I'm looking forward to it.
Tell me if I'm full of it. I think Ohio's going to beat Creighton, and I think Oklahoma's going to beat Gonzaga. Am I crazy?
Yes, you are.
Well, thank you.
But I've seen crazier things happen, so don't count yourself out.
UCLA is like Syracuse. What are they doing in this thing? You know?
They played pretty well at the end of the year, man. They deserve to be in it. They won their playing game as well. So, I mean, they're a really good team. They have some really good players. Jacques is a really, really good player there. So, I mean, they got a lot of versatility in their guards. Some of their guards can play their wings and guard. Yeah. So their guards can play in the wing. The wings can play in the 4 spot. And they do a really good job of being able to have a variety of players on the perimeter.
And one team I was impressed with because, raise your hand if you've watched a lot of Colorado basketball. I haven't, but that team has impressed me.
Yeah, man, they caught me off guard. I didn't expect them to even get out of the first round, to tell you the truth. I really thought Patrick Ewing and Georgetown would make it past that, but they've been playing pretty well, man. So tip my hat off to those guys.
All right. Well, thank you for the update. Maybe we'll call you next week because it's March Madness, and I like talking basketball with you because you weren't one of my favorites when you played. All right, but I respected the fact that you were one of the best all time that I've watched in person, and you're a good guy. I got to know you at Wheeling U, and you're going to move up. Maybe next time I watch the Celtics, you'll be sitting next to Joe Mazzulla.
I don't think they're in need of just anybody. So.
Hey, did he avoid the potholes? Everything went right for him,
Yeah, man. Usually does for the smart ones, man. Usually does.
Yeah, he started out as assistant at Fairmont State, then he was the head coach. Next thing you know, I watch him on television. He sits 3 rows behind Brad Stevens. You know what? I think Brad Stevens should put a uniform on him. Maybe he can shoot the ball well and not turn the basketball over.
No, we can't assume that either, though. So I don't know. I haven't seen Joe play in years. I think he's a little bit less turnover prone.
Yeah, you think you still could play?
Well, of course.
Yeah, I love your confidence. But that's with every Mountaineer athlete I've ever run into, a confident individual. And if you play for Huggins, you got to be a good guy, right?
That's the golden trait.
Wait a minute, you didn't play for Huggins in the Final Four, did you? Coach Beeline. Oh, I thought you played for Coach Beeline. I'm sorry.
No.
I bet you could tell some stories away from the court with Bob, huh?
I can tell a bunch of stories about everybody.
Oh, okay.
I keep them to myself.
It's always nice to have a good guy, even if he wears a Mountaineer uniform. You stepped on my toes a couple of times, but that's okay because the first time I met you and I said, this guy's cool, but I knew that because I talked to Bill Hillgrove, the voice of the Pitt Panthers, and he said, you had him on the show? I goes, yeah. He says, really good athlete, a really good guy. So there you go. From the opposing team yet, right?
All right, man. You learn something new every day, see?
Yeah. All right. Thank you, man, and we'll talk next week.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Tell Chris I said hey.
That I will.
All right. Yeah, Chris Richardson, the head coach at Wheeling, and Mr. Butler went to WVU. Want to take a break, Lola? Yeah, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Great conversation with the former Mountaineer. Well, excuse me. It's like the Marines. Once a Mountaineer, always a Mountaineer, right? We'll be right back.
Tune into Marshall County's second favorite son, Donnie Gilbert, Fridays from noon to 2 on the Valley's only network dedicated to live and local talk radio, The Watchdog.
Dutch Boy's new Platinum Plus paint with stain shield technology has the performance you expect from a luxury paint at a price you didn't. Platinum Plus is up to 50% more washable and stain resistant than a leading premium paint in satin sheen. Superiority ranges from 24 to 50% depending on sheen selected. Platinum Plus keeps your walls looking new longer. Menards and Dutch Boy Paint have you covered. Go ahead, live your life.
Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Savings or a mail-in rebate. See store for details.
Follow us on Facebook for the latest news, show updates, podcasts, alerts, and live video streams from the Valley's only network dedicated to local, community-driven talk radio, The Watchdog.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-362-2000, 362-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. I'm a private real estate investor who can solve your real estate problems fast for cash. Do you want to sell and just be done with it? Okay, great. I buy vacant properties, boarded up houses, pre-foreclosures, and inherited properties. I also buy apartment buildings, rental portfolios, divorce homes. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. I look forward to solving your real estate problems today. Give me a call for an all-cash offer at 614-362-2000, 614-362-2000.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
About this March Madness, what made it very, very good, although crazy, no Coach K, no Coach Williams, no Coach John from Kentucky, you know? You get tired of seeing it every year. I mean, it's good, you know, especially like when Duke that one year didn't they get beat from like a 13th seed, first round, whatever. It just goes to show you don't have to have a great institution that, you know, is acknowledged as, you know, well, they get all the good guys, okay? There you have three coaches on the outside looking in. They were no different than Lola, Bill, or me and you, watching from the outside. Well, they weren't watching. They were recruiting because you know they're going to come back, you know. The one thing I really felt bad for were the kids at VCU. You know, they're ready to play basketball, and because of COVID-19, they were told almost last minute, sorry, you can't play, so Oregon didn't have to beat them. Oregon moves on. Speaking of Oregon, what do we got here? Oregon is beating number 2 seed Iowa 54-46, but that's got a long way to go, okay? This is great. I mean, it's great entertainment. You know, who could write who could film a movie about this unless it's like Hoosiers, you know? I don't know if any of the number 1 seeds left. How many's left, Lola? 2? I think it's going to be a surprise, you know? How about this? A couple weeks, Oral Roberts has just won the national championship. Ohio U. I mean, that would sound funny, but I wouldn't mind delivering it because I'm just your messenger. Great to talk to Coach Butler. We keep in good contact, and I'm glad I made that friendship. Yeah, he'll be a good guy. He won't be around very long. I'd like to see him at Wheeling U for a couple of years because he's going to help Coach Chris Richardson recruit. So, you know, Wheeling U will only get better. All right. The other basketball team that loves March Madness, they'll be playing Wednesday, all right? The Elite Eight. So they're 3 wins away from a national championship. They got close a few years ago, but of course close means no cigar. Well, maybe a cigar, all right? So we'll keep you on tap with the Hilltoppers, all right? And yeah. The Pirates beat the Red Sox 9-4, but the big story in that game, and I'm familiar with this guy, because a guy named Tim Wakefield, a knuckleball pitcher, worked with this guy. We got to go. We'll talk about the knuckleball pitcher that's 36 years old. It's now a Pittsburgh Pirate. Stephen Wright. Is he the right guy coming out of the bullpen for the Pirates? Well, first he's got to make the team. We'll be back and talk with the legend. I'll ask him, how about that Illinois basketball team? We're the variety show.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1 W251CY, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7 W249DU, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road.
From ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. Members of the Biden administration traveling to Mexico today, then Guatemala later this week, for what administration officials described as ongoing discussions on how to manage an effective and humane plan of action on migration. Meanwhile, on the U.S. side, hundreds of young migrants housed in facilities that were only meant to be temporary. ABC News Chief White House correspondent Cecilia Vega is at the southern border in Hidalgo, Texas.
President Biden says he will take a trip to the border at some point, but as for the severely overcrowded facilities housing kids, we're seeing more than 800 kids in these facilities being held there for 10 days or more. These are not places for kids. They are only supposed to be allowed in these facilities for up to 3 days, but the Biden administration, they still, to this day, despite all of our requests, will not allow journalists inside to see what is going on inside those facilities.
With scenes of spring breakers partying in the streets of Miami Beach, ignoring curfews or calls to wear masks or socially distance, CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky.
I get it. We all want to return to our everyday activities and spend time with our family, friends, and loved ones. But we must find the fortitude to hang in there for just a little bit longer.
This as AstraZeneca announces it's seeking emergency use authorization of its COVID-19 vaccine here in the U.S. It's been available for use in other parts of the world and shows 79% efficacy. The U.S. Supreme Court could reinstate the death sentence for the Boston Marathon bomber. ABC's Aaron Katersky is watching the case.
Jahar Tsarnaev was sentenced to death for setting off twin bombs at the finish line of the Boston Marathon that killed 3 people. A federal appeals court overturned the sentence, ruling the trial judge failed to ask enough questions about the jury's exposure to pretrial publicity. The government faulted the ruling as inappropriate second-guessing. The Supreme Court agreed to review the matter. It could uphold Tsarnaev's sentence or make prosecutors decide whether to retry the penalty phase of the case.
The Dow up 73 points. You're listening to ABC News.
Hey, James, that order just doubled. We got to move fast here.
Indeed, those unexpected growth can stretch your business thin.
Somebody pick up that phone.
Like at Luca's Gourmet Frozen Pizza Company. To operate at scale, he needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
Take advantage of an irresistible new offer from HelloFresh. Get delicious recipes and fresh, pre-portioned ingredients delivered to your door. With more than 25 weekly recipes, there's something for everyone to enjoy, including family-friendly, vegetarian, and low-calorie options. Plus, you can skip the store and save up to 28% on groceries. Go to HelloFresh.com/News12 and use code News12 for 12 free meals, including free shipping, for a limited time only. That's code News12 at HelloFresh.com/News12.
In the UK, protests over a new crime bill turned violent.
What began peacefully turned violent as hundreds descended on a neighborhood police station. Outside, officers were injured and vehicles set alight. Bristol Police Chief Andy Marsh.
This wasn't people frustrated at the lack of ability to protest. This was people intent on causing serious disorder, violence and damage. People with a grudge against policing, I would say.
Controversial bill working its way through Parliament would give the police more power to impose conditions on non-violent protests, including those deemed to be too noisy or a nuisance. Those convicted could face fines or jail. Tom Rivers, ABC News, London.
Heavy rains triggering the worst flooding in half a century, forcing thousands to evacuate their homes along Australia's east coast. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison.
We're grateful at this point that no lives have been lost so far. But weakened foundations for buildings, for roads and trees, they all create risk, as do down power lines and rising water levels. So we ask all Australians in these affected areas to please use cautions.
Rescue crews pulled hundreds of people from the floodwaters across the state of New South Wales, a state charred by wildfires last year. Changes to U.S. tax laws because of the pandemic. Teachers can deduct safety gear they use in classrooms, and people with high medical bills may be able to deduct a portion of those costs. This is ABC News.
On our first date, we had masks on and kept 6 feet apart. Now, we're a lot closer.
Just like Cliff and Deb, thousands of singles over 50 found their perfect match on Silver Singles last year.
I feel like I'm 20 years old again, and I'm pretty sure she feels the same way.
Rediscover the magic of dating with Silver Singles, the exclusive community for singles over 50. Sign up today and receive daily matches you won't want to miss at silversingles.com/radio. silversingles.com/radio.
Dave Packer, ABC News.
This is ONN.
President Joe Biden will be in Columbus tomorrow for another of his stops on a tour highlighting healthcare costs and the American Rescue Plan. Tracy Townsend with affiliate station WBNS-TV in Columbus has more.
Mayor Andrew Ginther says he's looking forward to welcoming President Biden.
Very excited. You know, anytime we have the leader of the free world come into our community and we get to show off what's going on here in Columbus. But I think, you know, if the president could come here and see what's happening here and with all of our partnerships around the community, the work that we're doing to vaccinate folks, his leadership in this crisis, and a chance to thank him for the rescue plan.
The White House has not released specific information about the visit.
And a burglary suspect died after being shot by a police officer in suburban Toledo early yesterday morning. Michael Tater with affiliate station WTOL-TV in Toledo says the investigation is ongoing.
Sylvania Township Police Officer Kyle Andrews, who has 8 years in law enforcement, caught up with the suspect. Police say he told the officer he had a weapon and reached for his waistband. Officer Andrews fired multiple shots, striking and killing the man.
In the end, there was no weapon recovered. It was just the suspect telling the officer that he had one.
Sylvania Township does not currently have body cameras, but Chief Long says BCI is investigating the shooting and the use of force. Michael Tater, WTOL 11.
And I'm Daniel Barnett on the Ohio News Network.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-362-2000, 362-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. I'm a private real estate investor who can solve your real estate problems fast for cash. Do you want to sell and just be done with it? Okay, great. I buy vacant properties, boarded up houses, pre-foreclosures, and inherited properties. I also buy apartment buildings, rental portfolios, divorce homes. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. I look forward to solving your real estate problems today. Give me a call for an all-cash offer at 614-362-2000, 614-362-2000.
Thank you for riding with the Watchdog. Live and local. Just the way you like it.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster. With a look at your local weather forecast for your start to the work week, mostly sunny skies, a high near 69. Overnight low of 40 degrees under mostly clear skies. You'll see plenty of sunshine mixing in with just a few clouds for your Tuesday with highs in the upper 60s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Now it's time for Bill DeFabio on AM 1600 WKKX, The Watchdog.
Oh, and I'm the type of guy who will never settle down. Where pretty girl
kiss them and I love them, cause to me they're all the same. I hug them and I squeeze them, they don't even know my name. They call me the wanderer, yeah, the wanderer. I roam around, 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 around. Oh, well, there's Flo on my left arm and there's Mary on my right, and Janie is the girl.
Well, it's time for the legend. I'm trying to think for my intro if I should be nice or not. Oh, the hell, I'm not going to be nice. How about that Illinois basketball team, Bobby?
Well,
Yeah?
Mr. Fabio, after all this mess, I learned one thing.
Yeah?
I'm a better dancer than Charles Barkley.
That's a great comeback. Hey, speaking of Charles, do you like the commercials with Barkley, Spike Lee, who else was it? Samuel Jackson, Magic, and then they're sawing Jim Nance? I like those commercials.
That's what March Madness is all about. Wait till you see the new one he got with the recliner chair.
I did see it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Those were great. Those were great. I love, it's bad enough that they show about 18,000 commercials between breaks. It seems like there's a break every 5 minutes. But those commercials with those guys, they're funny, they're cool, and they make you laugh, even if your team's not doing well. And I don't know who's doing well. Well, I'm doing well because, my buddy Don from Cleveland said, you ought to go with some of the underdogs. So I listened to him. Usually I don't listen to him, and I did quite well, enough to put a down payment on a stove. I never realized, stoves were expensive till we went shopping or looking at them, but whatever. I get a stove out of this. And the wildness is not over. I expect to see one or two more upsets. How about you?
As of yesterday, 58.7% of the nation had Illinois in their Final Four.
Ooh.
33.1% had Illinois in the final game.
Wow. How about Lola's Michigan team?
As a matter of fact, I was going to come downstairs and rip everything up this morning while I was having my coffee. But I still have a shot if Michigan gets in the Final Four.
Okay. All right. You'll win some money?
Hopefully. But I can't see it. There's a slim chance because I still have three teams in the Final Four: Gonzaga, Baylor, and Michigan.
All right. Okay. Well, where do you think there might be an upset this afternoon?
Well, if you run down Wheeling Island right now and you put $100 on Abilene Christian, you can win $32,500 if they win the whole tournament.
How much?
$32,500.
For $100, they got to win it all.
They got to win it all.
Yeah, I don't know about that. How about my Ohio team? I almost went to Ohio, but I didn't like, where the school was located. I wondered, what do you do on weekends? But when I went to Boston, walked out of the subway and saw my dorm, there's a leader person there showing you around. Oh, that's your dorm right there. By the way, that's Fenway Park, about a few feet away. I said, this is where I'm going. I like Ohio. What are the odds of Ohio going to the finals?
Well, as they're saying that Gonzaga got a clear path because Ohio, as a matter of fact, if Ohio wins, they're underdogs by 5 points, by the way, against Creighton today.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
that's on at 6:10 on TNT. I think everybody but MeTV is broadcasting games. You got TBS, TNT. What am I losing here? And we had True TV over the weekend. Yeah, I don't think there's any more True TV. So, all right. TNT, CBS. What's the last game today? USC and Kansas tonight at 9:40 on CBS. Okay. All right. Who do you like? Wait a second. Can Oklahoma surprise Gonzaga?
Well, their second unit score, unfortunately, is out. But another thing is, if anybody doesn't believe Loyola Chicago isn't a team, I'm going to hit you here with, they're already 7-point favorites against Oregon State.
Wow.
And if you put $100 on them, they're only paying $1,500. So they got a lot of people believing in them.
Yeah. How about Oral Roberts?
Oral Roberts is up there. They're paying $8,500 on $100. but they're already they're 11-point underdogs against Arkansas.
Does it surprise you how well Arkansas has played?
I liked them at the beginning. You know, that was one of my teams at the beginning of the year that I liked, and they had a close shave yesterday.
Yeah. I wasn't too familiar with them, but they almost every game. I don't think I turned off a single game. Well, the Georgetown game, it wasn't much of a game, and I decided to watch the best of the Riflemen, which I do all the time. But that's okay. All right, I'm pretty happy. It's been an enjoyable ride. I've been to a number of these things, been to a number of Final Fours. I lived the dream of attending all these basketball games, and this is one where I've really had a good time. Not moving out of my seat, couch potato Bill, and just enjoyed a lot of basketball. I couldn't say that in the last few years. And you know what's enjoyable? No Coach John, no Coach K, no Coach Williams. It's great, I'm finding out a lot about all these unknown coaches that I'm not familiar with. How about you? Great entertainment?
That's just yesterday was just amazing. I mean, those 4 games in a row.
Yeah.
Down to the wire. I was rooting for Rutgers. My friend Jerry Recco is the announcer, the radio announcer for Rutgers University, and he, I was rooting for Rutgers.
Yeah.
It seems like all these teams, a lot of these teams, the last 4 minutes of the game, or last 3 minutes of the game, they end up losing.
Yeah. Well, that's what basketball is all about, and that's why they call it March Madness, And, there was enough people to make noise, Almost every game you could hear the people, see the people. You see the joy, you see the tears, you see the emotion, you see the jubilation, and we're halfway there practically, so it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Does Lola have to worry about Michigan against LSU?
They are, matter of fact, 5-point favorites. And there are a lot of people still believing on the blue.
Yeah.
I guess go Bobcats also.
Yeah. The best basketball team in college in the state of Ohio, and it's not the Buckeyes. That was a little bit depressing, but it's one of those, Buckeyes, because there's a lot of Buckeye fans in this area, football and basketball. But what a great win for the Ohio Bobcats in that tournament. So, yeah, it's really great. And I was talking to Deshaun Butler earlier, right before you, and you learn a lot about a lot of these teams you're not familiar with. Like I wasn't familiar with Colorado. I fell in love with that team, the way they played aggressive basketball. They were 23-8. So. And I guess they're not favored against Florida State. Florida State by what, 1.5?
Yeah, they had Florida State at the beginning of the year. They were, up in the top 10 at the beginning of the year and did real well in the ACC. You see, Virginia flopped.
Yeah.
And
I felt bad for the VCU team, getting ready to play, and all of a sudden they had to go home.
Would they have eight COVID players and staff? Wow.
Yeah. So that's pretty bad. That is pretty bad. Who do you have winning the women's tournament?
Well, I don't think it could be Connecticut. I mean, that's just a powerhouse. I mean, pretty hard to, and it's a shame what's going on with their coach.
Yeah. Well, you know what? First couple of rounds, they don't need him. Heck, I think I could coach that team. What do you think? Lola, could I coach the women's team at UConn?
I would be afraid to let you loose with a bunch of women.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. But Lola and I talked about this. Coach Gino stood up, and he faced the music about how unfair it is with the men getting all the goodies and stuff, the best hotels, weight rooms, and the women, they're kind of left on the outside looking in. I think when it comes to championship basketball, March Madness, both sides should be equal in all the gifts they get, the nice hotel rooms, the good food, place to work out, so I think that's going to change because there's been enough stink made, Did you see the room where the one women's team was supposed to work out? There was like one set of dumbbells, That was about it. I shouldn't laugh.
I think the Oregon team spoke up.
Yep. The captain of the team.
7.
Yeah. Yep. She spoke up, and everybody else spoke up. And then Gino says, you know what? This got to stop. He spoke up. And he was right about everything he said. You know, it's, I hate to use the word, but it's true. Unfair. The women work just as hard as the guys, you know. I see that at Wheeler University when the women practice. You know, they work real hard. They put the time in. You know, they sacrifice a lot of their regular school life. You know, their life is playing basketball at its best. You got UConn going, huh? You know, Stanford's tough. South Carolina's tough. Baylor's tough. Might be an interesting Final Four. As if Gino needs another championship trophy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got 10. But I remember when they first hired him after his first year when he won like 9 and lost, 14, they wanted to fire him. But somebody on the school board or whatever said, no, let's give this guy a chance. And the rest they call history. And he's got the #1 high school prospect coming to UConn next year. So they're a young team and they're only going to get better, you know? They could probably beat Pitt. What do you think? The men's team. I didn't say that, did I? Yeah, I did, and I meant it. Okay. What about the West Virginia women's team? They're doing okay.
Yeah, where are they ranked? 8th?
8th? I think they're top 10, you know?
Yeah.
I haven't seen too much of them. I got to check them out, you know? That's really the only local team we got left. So, and then we got West Liberty Division II. They're in the Sweet 16. So, great basketball in Division II, especially the Mountain East Conference. Okay, you're going to leave us with what message?
Don't take my advice all the time.
I'm glad you're honest, because I didn't and I won. That don't mean anything, because 8 out of 10 times you're okay. You're right. I don't do any studying or anything. I don't know. I can't give you the lineup of Oral Roberts. I can't give you the lineup of Loyola, Chicago. But I can tell you one thing. You know, both schools got some talent, and it's great that they should showcase that talent with a couple of wins, because, you know, who's really familiar with Oral Roberts? Or Ohio U, you know? Ohio U has a pretty good football team, but who knew about the basketball team? Maybe you did, all right? Just sad about West Virginia losing, but, you know, that happens when you go against one of the best in Jim Boeheim. You know, it's going to happen. And with Buddy Boeheim, the way he's playing, he's going to be most valuable player, outstanding player, whatever it's called. And, you know, he could take them all the way. You agree?
I was very impressed with that team yesterday.
Yeah.
Very impressed.
I mean, you know, Boeheim's always got some kind of zone 2-3. I mean, he's unbelievable. And he's been playing basketball since 1928. And I was telling Deshaun Butler, I remember watching Jim Boeheim as a player, you know. Back then, I don't think he shot the 3. You know, I don't think it was run and gun. You had a lot of low-scoring games, but he wasn't a bad player. And, you know, he's one of the all-time great coaches. 982 wins, and then you had Huggins with a 900, okay? All right. It's good to see the best of the best face each other. Unfortunately, I wish, you know, it could have been like maybe in the Final Four. You remember the year the Big East had 3 teams in the Final Four?
Yeah.
Yeah. I always tell Deshaun Butler, wasn't the Big East a great time? He goes, yeah. And now you got West Virginia going, 900 miles for their closest rival? They should have been in the ACC with Pitt. But, you know, wishing and a hoping, unless you're Dusty Springfield, doesn't mean a thing. Hey, thank you, man. We'll talk to you soon.
I'll be looking forward to it. Thank you.
And I'll listen, but we'll leave it at that. Go Illinois!
Take care.
You owe me one. You can hammer me anytime you want.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, bye-bye.
Wake up to the Ohio Valley's favorite morning show, The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe. Weekday morning, 7 to 10 a.m. Only on The Watchdog.
Dutch Boy's new Platinum Plus paint with Stain Shield technology has the performance you expect from a luxury paint at a price you didn't. Platinum Plus is up to 50% more washable and stain resistant than a leading premium paint in satin sheen. Superiority ranges from 24 to 50% depending on sheen selected. Platinum Plus keeps your walls looking new longer. Menards and Dutch Boy paint have you covered. Go ahead, live your life.
Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Savings or mail-in rebate. See store for details.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the watchdog trusts.
Imagine yourself in a Toyota, like a new 21 Highlander or the all-new 21 Sienna, both with $1,500 cash back. Or check out our new 21 RAV4 and take up the $1,250 cash back. Or a new 21 Camry with up to $1,750 cash back. Visit buyatoyota.com for more deals, local inventory, and to find a dealer near you. You can take cash back or apply toward down payment. Offers vary for hybrid models and exclude TRD models. See your dealer for details. Ready, set, go get your Toyota today. Offers end March 31st. Toyota.
Hi, this is Shauna Johnson from Metro News. Join us weekdays on the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe for the latest regional news from West Virginia and beyond, along with news and weather from WTRF-TV and Bill DeFabio Sports. We give you the Ohio Valley's most comprehensive morning news right here on the Watchdog.
Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection. Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection.
The heat is on the street, inside your head, on every beat, and the beat's alive, deep inside. The pressure's high, just to stay alive, 'cause the heat is on.
And we're back for a few minutes. Coming up in the next half, be interesting to see what DJ Abasella has to say about that. I'll be nice. That team that can't win with consistency. Yeah, I'll be nice. You know what I take from this whole tournament? Watching guys I wasn't familiar with, now I'm familiar with them. The coaches I'm not familiar with, now I'm familiar with a lot of them, okay? I saw 6 ex-Pitt players working as assistant coaches for various teams. That was cool. It's funny how they look when they get older, you know, because I remember them as players. But the thing I take out of the March Madness, she's 101 years old, all right? Sister Jean. I tell you what, I almost cried watching her eating popcorn. She was the one that picked Loyola over Illinois, all right? She's a big fan, big-time booster. The players love her. How can you not love a 101-year-old granny? You know, Sister Jean. I got a picture of her here. She's a little bit younger. Thumbs up. But they showed her yesterday eating popcorn. How cool is that, you know? How cool is that? They honored her before Georgia Tech game a few days ago, all right? And she was allowed to go to the tournament, okay? How cool is that? She was vaccinated, which is good. And she's America's favorite nun. I mean, I got videos of her I'm watching now. This is a smile on her face. She don't look 101. I look older than her. I'm old and beat up. She looks cool, like she can go out dancing. What'd you think of Sister Jean, Lola?
Well, I've liked her since they started talking about her years ago with Loyola.
Yeah. And Loyola back in the day, like the 50s and early 60s, they were a great team, all right? But, you know, Sister Jean, maybe she can take the team all the way, and can you imagine her? What's the name of the show at the end when they do all the video clips? One Shining Moment? I'm sure even if Loyola doesn't win, she'll be involved in One Shining Moment. Take that to the bank, okay? Let's take a look. What do we got here? Oregon 65, Iowa 51. You know, I got the Mighty Ducks winning that one. Yeah, like I said, every once in a while I get lucky, all right? I want to talk about Stephen Wright. If you're old enough to remember the 70s, you're old, right? Do you remember the Washington Redskins over the hill gang? When their coach, I forgot his name right now. I see his picture. George, I can't remember. Anyhow, he always used to bring in these old players. And I think one time they got lucky and went to a Super Bowl and lost to Miami Dolphins. Over the hill gang, okay? Now, I think the Pirates can be classified in that category as over the hill gang. Look at all the additions they've made in recent weeks. Guys that's either been over the hill, too old, been suffering from inconsistency, injuries, and they just added another one to over the hill gang. I watched him pitch briefly with the Boston Red Sox. He was an all-star, okay, way back, 2016. His overall record, Major League Baseball, 24 wins, 16 losses, but he has spent some time on the suspension list, more time on the suspension list than games played as a pro, all right? 15-game suspension for domestic violence. If that wasn't bad enough, Major League Baseball handed him an 80-game suspension for violating Major League Baseball's Joint Drug Treatment and Prevention Program back in 2019. And the Red Sox gave him the old pink slip, see you later, and the Pirates just added him to the roster. You know what? The Pirates have nothing to lose,
Except games.
Well, yeah, but he's a knuckleball pitcher. And when he's healthy and not suspended, he's been well, And the last knuckleball pitcher, Jim Leland said, hey, this guy shouldn't play first base. He can throw a knuckleball. The rest is history, Tim Wakefield. And guess who Stephen Wright learned to throw the knuckleball from? Tim Wakefield. Like Tim Wakefield studied the art of throwing a knuckleball from Joe and Phil Necro, two local greats. Okay, there you go. There's the knuckleball story, all right? He can help. And if not, throw him out of the roster. Send him to the minor leagues, or just get rid of him. Cost him a couple of bucks if he makes the roster. What have they got to lose, right? But they got too many of these guys. What have they got to lose? Ooh, he was good about 15 years ago. He was a good relief pitcher coming out of the bullpen about, 6 years ago. But you never know. You toss them in a hat, something good may happen with one or two of them. I just want the Pirates to be competitive. And I think later this week, we've lined up the new Washington Wild Things manager. I can remember his name, can't spell it. I have faith in Coach Vaith. Yeah, Vaith, Coach Vaith. He's been around baseball, familiar with the major leagues, worked the minor leagues, and it looks like 50% capacity for Wild Things game, which is about, let's see if they get 3,800 capacity, what do they get? Whatever. They can have over 1,000 a game, which would be good, all right? Still the best buy in baseball. You take your kids, they don't know who in the heck's playing. They just want to have a good time, They want the Wild Thing to come over and bite them in the head or bite their head off. They want to go to the concession stand and their mom and dad don't have to rob a bank for a hot dog, ice cream, popcorn, And they get to see competitive baseball. Because these guys know you never know when somebody from Major League Baseball, a scout from Milwaukee, some friends of mine from Cleveland who work as scouts, a friend of mine that worked in Seattle until COVID-19 and they fired most of their scouts. When there's a scout in the seats and you're pitching well, or maybe you're going 3 for 4, hit a couple of home runs, you know what? 54 players from the Frontier League have made it to Major League Baseball, 9 from the Wild Things. So it's good entertainment, $5 to park. If you don't have a parking pass, you're going to pay $15, $20, $25 in Pittsburgh. All right? Buy a hot dog and a Coke at PNC Park. We're talking almost $20. Or if you're an idiot like me, $6.50 for a bottle of water where you can buy a case and a half at Uncle Sam's Club. But the Wild Things, hopefully right around the corner. The one problem, they have to play against 2 teams in Canada. And you know about crossing that line. So hopefully the government in Canada will ease up just a little bit. It's going to be exciting. A couple teams from New York. Yeah. I want to travel with the team on a weekend when they go to New Jersey. They play, I forget the team's nickname, but they're all quality teams, by the way, the new guys on the block. But I want to watch a game at Yogi Berra Stadium and then spend a day next door at the Yogi Berra Museum. All right, that ought to be a fun time. Then watch baseball at Yogi Berra Stadium. All right now I got to get out of this stadium, this arena, and take a break. But I'll be back in my seat right after this on the Watchdog.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Chris Lawrence. Top Democrats in the House and Senate have called for renewed enforcement of mask mandates at the state capitol amid a diagnosis of a positive case of COVID-19. In Raleigh County, Delegate Brandon Steele, House Minority Leader Doug Scabs says it's become a serious concern.
Delegate Steele stood up on Friday and spoke very lengthy without his mask on, and I just pray and care about all the people that were around him. There were staff around him. There were per diem employees around him. There were other delegates around him.
Steele tested positive Saturday. Several other legislative members and staffers have self-quarantined while waiting on the results. Steele spoke with Metro News Sunday and said it was bound to happen.
You bring 134 people from all over the state and put them in a bubble, and it's amazing that it took 5 weeks for that to take place.
Meanwhile, COVID cases in West Virginia are starting to trend in the wrong direction today. Active cases nearing 5,000 mark a week ago have now risen back up to 5,600. The state's daily positive rate today, 5.21%, and there were 6 new fatalities. West Virginia University planning to offer vaccination to its employees aged 40 to 49 later this week, and Governor Justice is encouraging everybody to get the vaccine.
We need this number to fly past 80%, fly past 85%, and the only way we're going to get there is you quit listening to this garbage that people may feed you about this vaccine.
You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. Boone County authorities say what was reported as a body in a coal slurry pond on the old Hobet mine property turned out to be a mannequin. That discovery made on Sunday after somebody had reported a body in the Blackwater impoundment. Emergency crews used a drone to get confirmation it was not, in fact, a body, and therefore avoided the risk of putting a boat into the murky Blackwater. Authorities did use the opportunity on social media, though, to remind everybody of the dangers of a coal slurry impoundment. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Chris Lawrence.
AutomotiveMap.com presents the Sports Flash, powered by the Score on the Watchdog. I'm John Thayer. Matt Jones won the Honda Classic yesterday as he turned in a 12 under par effort over the weekend, shot a 68 in the final round. He finished 5 shots better than number 2 Brandon Hagee. 5 golfers finished tied for third at 6 under par. Ryan Blaney got by Kyle Larson late to win at Atlanta yesterday and become the 6th driver to win in 6 races to start NASCAR's Cup season. Larson finished second while Alex Bowman, Danny Hamlin, and Kyle Busch rounded out the top 5. Half of the Sweet 16 is set in the men's NCAA tournament. Baylor will take on Villanova, Arkansas against Oral Roberts, Loyola Chicago against Oregon State, and Syracuse will take on Houston. It's the perfect time to bring out your very best, so hurry in for great deals now at the Jeep Start Something New event. I'm John Thayer with the Sports Flash, powered by the Score on the Watchdog.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrill Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next move with the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
I'm Dr. Baker, an ER physician. If you're having leg pain, swelling, or redness, but haven't talked to your doctor yet, don't wait. This could be deep vein thrombosis, a blood clot which could travel to your lungs and lead to a pulmonary embolism, which could cause chest pain or discomfort or difficulty breathing and be deadly. Your symptoms can mean something serious, so don't wait. Talk to a doctor right away, by phone, online, or in person.
Brought to you by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them, just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
Oh, there's something so real about living local, and I know without a doubt I'm not alone. And I'm loving living local. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. Said I'm loving living local. WTRF is working for me. The Ohio Valley is where I love to be.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts. Tune into Marshall County's second favorite son, Donnie Gilbert, Fridays from noon to 2 on the Valley's only network dedicated to live and local talk radio, the Watchdog.
It's impossible. Tell the sun to leave the sky. It's just impossible. It's impossible. Ask a baby not to cry. It's just impossible. Can I hold you closer to me?
That's a nice tune we selected. Thank you, Lola. Nice job selecting Perry Como. It's impossible. It's impossible that these Nailers will ever win like 4 out of 5, 9 out of 10. Come on, DJ. I want to hear you say something positive about the team that stinks.
Boy, oh boy, it takes a lot of work, Bill.
That's an honest answer. By the way, when Lola told me Friday she was going Saturday, I said, oh, you're a good luck charm. Well, I find out she's not Sister Jean because the Nailers didn't need her. She didn't go to the game.
I bet you it was the presence that she was probably going to go is what got the team motivated on Saturday, because that was the best game of the weekend, hands down.
Yeah. Well, maybe I slipped a recording or something in the locker room and said, expect Lola Miller to watch you guys. And they got all pumped up. Maybe they thought she was in the stands, but she wasn't. But yeah, what was it, 9-1?
7-1.
Yeah, you couldn't save a couple of those goals for, Sunday?
Man, oh man, Friday would have been nice too. Friday was a 3-2 loss, Saturday was a 7-1 win, and Sunday was a 6-4 loss, and it was very winnable all three, where Friday night, actually Friday and Sunday both, which is mind-boggling. Wichita had 1 second period shot on both Friday and Sunday. How you don't win a game when allowing 1 shot in a period is flabbergasting. But it was 1-1 after 2 on Friday. Wheeling went ahead 2-1. Garrett Hunt, who had fought earlier in the game, got his first goal with the Nailers on Friday night, but then Wichita got back-to-back to win that. Saturday was just dominant start to finish. 7-1, 51 shots on goal, season high. Just made Wichita look like they weren't even close to the second-place team they were. And then on Sunday, it was 2-2 after 1, 4-2 Wheeling after 2. But then a couple of bad penalties in a row put Wheeling down 5-on-3. Wichita scored to make it 4-3, and you could just sense at that point the tides completely turned, and Wichita ultimately tied it, went ahead. Actually, they had a goal waved off to go ahead before they actually went ahead, and then added an empty netter, so ended up 6-4 the other way.
Well, I'm going to give credit to River City for Saturday's win. You know why?
Why is that?
Because after the game Friday, the Wichita team, all 25 of them, ate in the restaurant about 10:30. They ate a lot of food, so they pigged out and they were too tired to play Saturday. See?
That's
what you got to do. You got to bring the team in before a game and have them pig out, and they'll be too tired to skate.
Okay, well, why didn't that happen Saturday? We got to fix that. We're gonna have to make sure that when Jacksonville comes in next week that they do that.
Yep, we'll give them a lot of protein, a lot of potatoes and stuff, pizzas. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
there you go.
Absolutely.
That's the ticket, so the Nailers can win at least. When's the last time you won 2 in a row?
Mid-February.
Oh, okay. When's the last
the only time we've done it.
When is have you ever won 3 in a row or 5 out of 7 or anything like that?
No 3 in a rows yet.
Oh man, maybe you need Sister Jean.
Maybe we need something. Maybe the boys need some beautiful Florida sunshine this week.
Yeah. Why, are you going down south?
They are. I'm not, which stinks. But
oh man, you still got to work out of your office, huh?
Yep. Yeah, they've got a 3-game series in
Fort Myers, Florida, against the Everblades on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, right in the middle of Red Sox spring training, too.
Yeah, there's a lot of nice cheap bars in Fort Myers. Oh, man. Speaking of your Red Sox, I meant the Sox. They got an oldie but goodie, Stephen Wright.
Yeah, the Pirates got him, actually, right?
Yeah, he's only missed 95 games of suspension. One for domestic violence and the other for violating the MLB's Joint Drug Treatment and Prevention Program. Say that 10 times, Bill. That was back in 2019. But at one time, he was a pretty good knuckleball pitcher. Who knows? It's a chance, right? You know?
Of course. It's a low risk and, type of situation, I would think.
Yeah, if I'm Bob Nutting, I would take a flyer on him. He's a knuckleball pitcher. You know?
Well, and Ben knows him well because he was in the Red Sox organization, so he would have been there when Ben there.
Yeah, but they're getting a lot of these retreads, these buccos. I'm going to start calling them the over-the-hill gang.
That's what they do, isn't it, though? I feel like that's kind of their style. They're not going to get anybody in the middle of their primes. They're either going to get a whole bunch of prospects or they're going to get guys who are trying to reinvent themselves.
Well, I just want them to be competitive. Just like I told you at the beginning of the Nailers. I don't care if they lose all of their games. Be a competitive team every night, and I would be happy. So would a lot of Nailer fans, because I run into them at River City. Guys and gals that pay, I don't know what a replica jersey is, but they're well suited. They wear their hats and everything, Nailers. Every once in a while I see a West Liberty hat or whatever. But, they're Nailers to the heart. And, I hear they're crying. They tell me, what do you think the Nailers are going to do? I go, I don't know. I know they're going to play.
It's so wild right now, Bill, because like you said, being competitive is definitely key, which they have been. Obviously, like you said, the wins haven't gone their way. I think the wild thing is right now it's either we get a blowout win or a close loss. Like there's no in the middle. Like we just won by 6 and we lost by 1 and 2. Last week we won by 6. Lost by 1 and 2. The week before that, we won by what? We won by 5 and 3. Lost by 1. Like it's like we're either blowing teams out of the water or we're finding ways to lose close games. It's the craziest thing. I can't figure it out.
Well, to steal a quote from Chuck Noll, who once said, "Good teams win close games."
Yeah, we haven't figured that part out. We can blow you out, but we can't figure out how to win a close game right now.
All right, when's the team come back?
Next week, there's a Thursday home game against Jacksonville.
Okay.
And even though that's the first time we see them, they signed the guy who had the obscene gesture from Fort Wayne, and he's actually slated to make his return that night. So I'm going to go ahead and say that there's probably a better than average chance you're going to see at least one fight out of that game.
Wait a minute. He made that. Boy, how do I explain this on the radio? I couldn't do it on TV. Well, I could do it on. He made a obscene venture, whatever, with both hands. Let's just say, if I was there, I would have punched him or hit him over the head with a hockey stick. I thought he was suspended for life from the league.
9 games, and it ends with the first game being back against us.
Okay, I'm going to promote that this turkey's going to take on my man, what's his name, Hunt?
Brad or Garrett or Kyle, any of the three of them, I'm sure would happily take him. I don't know who's going to get him though.
Or I could invite him to River City and fill his gut up with Fireball, and I'll take him on because he'll be drunk and I can knock him on his ass. What do you think?
I love it. Hey, Hunt went twice this weekend, right off the opening faceoff, Friday and Sunday.
All right. And he scored a goal.
Yeah.
Nothing like a fighter scoring a goal.
No, Friday was hilarious, actually, because Wichita started the guy who wanted to fight him, and we didn't know that was happening because he's actually on one of their top lines. So we're like, okay, well, we'll match up with them and put like a checking line out there, not necessarily our tough guy. So I guess they talked about it in warm-ups, and Hunt went in and told Sylvester, who was in the starting lineup, hey, Fournier and I are fighting right away, so if you could, I'd like you to change for me. So the puck dropped, and Sylvester went straight to the bench, on Cubs Hunt, off go the gloves.
Yeah. Well, if this keeps up, Bill DeFabio and DJ Abasella is going to go at it.
All right.
I'll even hit you with your glasses on.
Perfect.
You know what? I'm going to have Lola take care of my light work.
That's usually the way it goes, right?
Hey, you know what? Things can only get better. I feel sorry for you. You can't travel with the team. Hey, does Bob Erie and his broadcast partner, away games, do they have to work in the studio or office? They're not with the team, right?
I think so, yeah. I think we're still on that with the NHL. I haven't heard of anything changing yet for them, but we'll see where it goes.
All right. Okay, man. It can only get better. I've said that 22 times because I keep track of it.
Yeah. Well, we've got a tough team this weekend, so hopefully we can get some points down there.
And let me know when the bad guy comes in. I'll invite him for dinner at River City.
Let's go.
All right. Hey, thank you, man.
Thanks, Bill. Hang in there.
You hang in there. You're the one that's got the tough job. I can say anything I want about the team. I can say they suck. I can say they're leaving. You can't, so congratulations. You're a great professional. How's that?
I appreciate that.
All right. Take care, my man.
See you, bud.
All right. I got to take care of business. Lola's waving at me. We got to take a break, and we'll be right back with the Oldies calendar and some final comments on the Variety Show. Coming up, the Big Rick Show with Big Rick.
Tune into the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe, weekday mornings 7 to 10 a.m. on the Valley's favorite live and local talk radio station, The Watchdog.
Technology can be challenging for business leaders, but Omni Strategic Technologies enables your business to perform without limits. They're the only IT company the Watchdog trusts. Omni offers IT managed services, cybersecurity and advisory solutions, backup and disaster recovery, and can handle all your hardware needs. If your business is faced with any technology challenges, the answer is simple. Call Omni Strategic Technologies at 304-242-7600 or visit them at www.omniperforms.com.
Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection. Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson.
Triadelphia. The Watchdog is protecting your yard. Join Howard Monroe, Hoppy Kercheval, Bill DeFabio, and Big Rick for the best live and local talk in the Upper Ohio Valley and beyond. Triadelphia trusts the Watchdog.
This is Dr. Mashika Roberts, Columbus Health Commissioner. The pandemic is more than a physical health issue. As parents, it's important to remember that our children are also coping with drastic life changes. 1 in 4 teens misuse a prescription drug at least once in their lifetime. We must talk to our kids about healthy coping strategies and the dangers of prescription drug misuse. Visit don'tliveinDenial.org to learn how to dispose of your leftover pills and talk to your kids about opiates.
The 2021 Honda ATV lineup is here to prove it's possible to work smarter and harder. With the power to get the job done, the technology to make it easier, and tried and tested quality to keep you moving forward, the only thing left to add is you. Then you'll understand how life is better on a Honda. Honda recommends ATVs for riders 16 years and older and recommends that all ATV riders take a training course.
See it all around you. Good loving gone bad. And usually it's too late when you realize what you had. And my mind goes back to a girl I met some years ago who told me just hold on loosely. Don't let go.
What I'm talking about, DeFabio. I'd like the Ducks to win, and boy, are they clobbering Iowa. The Ducks are swimming all over the Hawkeyes. What is it? 80-62, 8:53 remaining. Unless the Ducks drown, they're going to advance. Wow. And another big Big 10 team falls out. Okay. But Lola's still got the Michigan team in. All right. I'll tell you what, I'm having fun with all of this stuff. All right. Okay, Lola. Here we go. On this date in 1956, why did I pick this? Oh, it was a good start for Sammy Davis Jr. He started in a play called Mr. Wonderful. The critics and fans, most of them were unkind, saying they didn't care for the production. Although the critics at one time said, hey, you know what, this guy's got potential, and gave it a thumbs up. And the show went on to be Broadway's more popular musicals, okay? And we all know that Davis was put in the spotlight. By the way, his father already launched him into vaudeville spotlight with Sammy was just 3.5 years old. I didn't know that. I didn't know Sammy started to, perform at the age of 3.5. Well, who was the actress that started at about age 3 or 4, Lola? Was it Shirley Temple?
Yeah, there was Shirley Temple, and Judy Garland was on stage that young. Mickey Rooney was a toddler the first time he was on stage.
Yeah, it's 7 minutes till the hour of 2. Coming up at 2 o'clock, Big Rick on the Big Rick Show, okay? I'm sure Rick will find it very interesting for your entertainment for 3 hours or so, okay? All right, I don't know about Sammy Davis today. Perry Como, you heard from Perry with It's Impossible. It's impossible sometimes to follow the Nailers, but I like hockey. I just want them to be competitive and maybe win 4 out of 5 someday. He became the first major TV variety show to book a rock and roll act on his program called The Perry Como Show back in 1956. Who did he book, Lola? Carl Perkins. You remember his number 1 song?
No.
Blue Suede Shoes.
Oh.
I thought Elvis Presley had that. Whatever. Carl Malden. You a big fan?
Yes.
Favorite streetcar named Desire?
Yeah.
Was it better than On the Waterfront?
And they're equally
depressing?
good.
Okay. Yeah. And for a while, he worked with a young Michael Douglas. They both played detectives on streets of San Francisco. Yeah, it was okay. But I remember him in all those American Express commercials. Passed away 2009. Ross Martin. His real name was Martin Rosenblatt. He was who was the guy that said, knock the battery off his shoulder? Wild Wild West? Who was that actor, Lola?
I don't know.
Go ahead, knock it off. Go ahead, somebody call me and tell me who that actor was. But both of them were on the Wild Wild West. And Ross Martin passed away in 1981, born in 1920. No, I don't like that guy. Yeah, here we go. George Benson, a Pittsburgher, so you know that he's talented. Born on this date in 1943. Before you figure it out, Lola, 78 years old. He had some great tunes. Give Me the Night on Broadway. The Masquerade. Great performer, pretty good guitarist, okay? Bob Costas, one of the few guys that I really like from Syracuse, because everybody at Syracuse, they think they're much better than everybody else in broadcasting. And I didn't go there. I wanted to be in Boston. Here we go, Bob Costas. How old is he today, Lola?
70.
That's very good. Down the road, you'll get an Egg McMuffin from Uncle Billy. 69. All right, do we have time for music? I watched Presley last night. By the way, I'll mention again, if you get MeTV and you're an oldie but goodie, an old gasser like yours truly, you like old shows like Gunsmoke, Petticoat Junction, and, all those shows, Hogan's Heroes, Gilligan's Island, you got to watch MeTV Sunday nights. I think it's going to be something that, it just started last night. They're going to continue to do it. 9:30 to 10 o'clock, the best of Ed Sullivan. Last night he had the King on, and the Beatles' first appearance. Elvis Presley, on this date in 1961, had the number 1 song, Surrender. Connie Francis had a popular song, and they had a movie with Connie Francis' voice, Where the Boys Are. There you go. Okay, that was 61. Let's see what's happening in 76. No. Let me turn the page here. Why do I have that circled? 69, Dizzy. We had that song for the March Madness, Tommy Rowe. Number 2 was Traces of Love by Classics 4. I got to see Dennis Yost at Capitol a couple of years ago. Indian Giver by 1910 Fruit Gum Company, if you like bubblegum music. I didn't, but that was a number 3 song. 1977, do I have to mention the number 1? Barbra Streisand, A Star is Born. Tell me you like that theme, Lola.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I didn't care for that particular rendition of the movie, but yeah, I like Streisand.
Okay. Number 2, did you like Steve Miller?
Yeah.
Fly Like an Eagle. I wonder if he was in Philadelphia. The number 1 country tune for you country bumpkins out there, Glenn Campbell, Southern Nights. I like that song.
Yeah.
All right. 1985. Let's go with number 3. Is Lola Miller a material girl? We have to ask Madonna. You like that tune?
It was all right.
Okay. Let's see. The Heat is on. We can dedicate that to West Liberty. They get a number 2 seed on Wednesday, so the Heat will be on. If they win, I like their chances of winning it all. I like their chances anyhow. They're that good this year. The Heat is on by Glenn Fry. And number 1, 1985, REO Speedwagon. Can't Fight This Feeling. Another good tune. All right. We had a lot of fun here talking about March Madness. A new knuckleball pitcher.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1 AM.
I got to get out of here.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1 AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
States relaxing COVID restrictions. Scenes in Miami Beach of spring breakers throwing caution, social distancing, and masks to the wind. Now is not the time, says CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky at today's White House COVID-19 response team briefing.
We are at a critical point in this pandemic, a fork in the road, where we as a country must decide which path we are going to take.